I want to do a quick video today. Hi, my name is Aster. Normally you'd find me talking about music, but I want to discuss something more tangential to my channel today. Hexed, Disney's upcoming original animated film, has received a lot of bad press so far. Despite only having a 2-minute trailer, many have taken to YouTube to air out their complaints. That's expected at this point. We're all sick of Disney, and if I'm being honest, I thought we were sick of Disney critiques. Evidently, that's not the case, since these videos are raking in the views. So I'll throw my hat in the ring. I own a lot of hats, it's okay. My goal isn't to defend Hexed or Disney. I don't want to do that, to be honest. I want to discuss the current climate of media criticism. Don't worry, I'll have my complaints about the film towards the end of the video. Let's look at this trailer. Billy, voiced by Haley Steinfeld, is a misfit at school. She discovers she has magic powers and gets warped into a world of magic. The movie advertises itself as being about Billy discovering where she belongs. The comments were not happy about this. Commenters point out that this is yet another adorkable Disney protagonist, that this is a Harry Potter or Owl House ripoff, and that Billy is clearly not like other girls and therefore a bad character. Can we take a step back here? Now, I'm not going to go to bat for Hexed. Do I think it'll be rehashed and mediocre? I mean, that's likely, sure. I just want to do a reality check. I get it. I really do. Disney has been horribly disappointing us for the last several years. Between the soulless live-action remakes, the absolute disaster that was Wish, and the controversy surrounding Elio, we're all left wanting something better. Hexed isn't doing anything to sway us. My concern becomes the mythologizing of a movie that's not even out yet. We've already decided to call it another step towards Disney's destruction. We're treating it like it's an amalgamation of everything wrong with entertainment. In my opinion, this is a problem with media criticism in 2026. To explain, I just want to look at some of these complaints. First, is Hexed a ripoff of something else? I'll answer that with another question. Is every isekai a ripoff of Alice in Wonderland? No, a story using a common trope as a setup isn't a real criticism. Child discovers they have magical powers and goes to a magical world dates back to at least Chronicles of Narnia. That book was published before color television was standard, back when the newest Disney film was Cinderella. And it's very strange to hear people complain that a Disney film is ripping off someone else. Disney's best and most beloved animated films are interpretations of famous stories. Hexed is about, well, we don't actually know, do we? Beyond the general setup, we don't know Billy's role in the magical world. Most likely she's going to save the day, but how and why? Here's the blurb currently on Wikipedia. Billy, an impulsive and unconventional teen girl, discovers magical abilities that take her from suburbia into Hexae, a realm of witches. With her cautious mother Alice, she investigates family secrets connected to the world of witches. We have next to nothing. I can tell you more about the song that's used in the trailer than the trailer itself. Did you know it's actually a Miley Cyrus song? Yeah, it's an alternate version of Midnight Sky, which interpolates and samples Edge of 17. I digress. My point here is that for the sake of content, we're grasping at straws. We've already made a ton of assumptions with no real foundation other than presumed pattern recognition. Again, I get it, we've had enough of adorkable protagonists making quippy jokes. Personally though, I've had enough of the word adorkable. Since the term entered the lexicon, every time a female protagonist is quirky or quippy even a little bit, the adorkable allegations are thrown. It makes me wonder if it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's much easier to slap a label on a character than actually critique where the character fits into the story and why it's not working. Adorkable isn't a criticism in and of itself, it's just an archetype. An annoying archetype, sure, but that doesn't mean it can't be done well in theory. We also don't know if that's how Billy will act throughout the entire movie. Another criticism is that the shots are all too centered in the trailer, and that means it's all done for TikTok or other short-form mobile videos. Now, I'll admit I don't know much about this topic. It's another maybe so in my book. And again, I know we all want to trash Disney for this, but here's reality check number 2. The trailer is 2 minutes long, and some of those 2 minutes aren't even movie footage, just title cards and from the studio that brought you cards. The last Disney animated film was 108 minutes long. I will ask again, how much do we really know? Assuming Hexed will be around 110 minutes, can we really judge the cinematography of an entire film from under 2% of it? Cherry-picking shots for trailers is kind of the point of trailers. I feel we're forgetting the general construction of media in favor of scrabbling around for talking points so we can feel enlightened about media. The best example of this is probably from the third complaint I've seen floating around. Hexed was originally about a boy and his mother, and it got switched to being about a girl and her mother. This is going to sound like a non sequitur, but I want to talk about Disney's revenue report. Many critics, especially on YouTube, say that Disney is too focused on appealing to its investors. You're correct. Disney has always been focused on appealing to its investors. Disney's stock, DIS, has been public since 1957. That means, since 1957, Disney has had a responsibility to make money for its investors. For better or worse, that's how stocks work. We're not going to get into that. My point is that Jungle Book, the Aristocats, Little Mermaid, Hercules, all of those were made with investors in mind. I decided to take a look at Disney's second quarter earning reports from this year. I got it directly from their website. I also read an article about Disney Plus finally turning a profit back in November 2025. Here's my big takeaway. The parks are doing well. Streaming is doing well. Sports is growing. Disney stock overall? Ouch. Since 2021, DIS has plunged from $184 per share to a current rate of under $100 per share. It dropped 45% in 5 years. That's miserable, especially with inflation. So what's holding them back? Believe it or not, it's theatrical releases. To quote the 2025 article, but shares of Disney fell over 7% on Thursday after the company's overall operating profit fell 5% to $3.48 billion, weighed down by a 21% decline at its linear entertainment networks, a loss in its content, sales and licensing unit, and higher marketing, programming, and production costs at ESPN. Revenue also came in flat at $22.5 billion, as growth in sports and experiences was weighed down by a 16% decline in its linear entertainment networks and lower theatrical distribution results, reflecting the releases of Fantastic Four, The Roses, and Freakier Friday, and the carryover performance of the live-action Lilo and Stitch. Disney needs a theatrical hit. They care. They legally have to care. Disney has seen flop after flop at the box office. Even the few films that have been successful have been unable to nudge the stock upwards. Changing Billy from a boy to a girl may have been done for wider appeal. Sure, many have said they would have loved to see a quirky outsider boy. Hey, why isn't that called adorkable? Makes you think. Star in a Disney film. It would have meant a lot to quirky outsider boys, and Disney hasn't done that, right? Except they did. Finding Nemo, Meet the Robinsons, Ratatouille if you want to stretch the definition to rats, Big Hero 6, need I go on? I'll be blunt here. Disney has always been aiming for universal appeal. They did not make The Little Mermaid to appeal specifically to little girls who love princesses and feel like misfits. They made them as general audience films. My fiance's parents went to go see The Little Mermaid when it came out in 1989, and they were already well into adulthood. That's how people viewed Disney films back then. Making Billy a girl isn't inherently a bad thing, it's just a creative choice. The same way that Disney made the creative choice to basically restart Aladdin 18 months before it released. We don't know how Hexed will actually play out, we don't know if it will be well written or not. We don't know the intent behind the decision. We can speculate all we want, but it doesn't really matter in the end. What matters is the final product and how it resonates with the audience. I'd argue that's the real thing Disney should be focusing on if they aren't. Universal appeal comes from universal stories with universal truths. Those truths are not found in boardroom-approved scripts, and they aren't found in hyper-personal introspection from writers. They're found in little things, like the director of Finding Nemo wondering if he's too overprotective of his son. Those little thoughts, those questions we ask ourselves, can make any premise relatable. It doesn't matter if it's a totally bonkers setup or a tried-and-true fairy tale. Hamilton is a ridiculous concept, isn't it? A rapt musical about the founding fathers, are you insane? But it's about a man striving to be seen as a true American, and it asks the question of how we view heroes and villains in our history and our own myth-making. It asks something quintessential to its audience. That's why it's so beloved. A movie like Wish was doomed to fail because it's not about a universal truth, or at the very least, it didn't communicate its themes well enough. Wish's production was a mess, we know this, and that's what caused the disjointed and aimless story. But I think again about Aladdin and how that also had a troubled production. The difference is that they had something they wanted to say. They had a real vision, and they were just able to do it better the second time. Does Hexed have a real vision? We'll have to see. Maybe it does. Maybe the choice to change Billy to a girl was done to further that vision. We can't really know, and lobbing the same handful of surface-level criticisms isn't helping. Repeating the same basic talking points won't achieve anything because it only pushes Disney to make shallow responses in their films. I ask again, what if Billy remained a boy? Would that mean the movie is automatically better somehow? No, of course not. That's a superficial change. There are plenty of subversive stories out there that are actual garbage. It's not a mark of quality. Disney wants nothing more than to make a film with universal appeal. I just wonder if they forgot how to do that. I wonder if they're panicking, they've become hyper-focused on this idea while losing sight of what actually makes it possible. They can sit in their boardrooms all they want and look over the test groups, and maybe they do have good ideas. Maybe the test grouping is helping. Maybe it isn't. We can't know until the movie comes out and we judge it for what it is. Uncentering the cinematography for a trailer doesn't make a movie good. Avoiding common tropes doesn't make a story good. What makes a story good is how it analyzes the world and communicates that analysis to the audience. Beauty and the Beast analyzes mob mentality. The Lion King analyzes responsibility. Hunchback analyzes how power corrupts. When Hexed is released, don't ask if the protagonist is too adorkable. Don't ask if the cinematography is too made for TikTok. The question we should be asking is, what did this movie analyze? What is it trying to say? And did it say it? That will determine whether Hexed is worthwhile or not. Thank you for hearing me out. I usually talk about songwriting theory, so if you're interested in that, subscribe if you'd like. Have a wonderful day.